If you own a second generation Starlink dish, now is a really good time to pick up some spare parts or that accessory that you've been meaning to buy. I was browsing the shop the other day at starlink.com and I noticed that several of the Generation 2 accessories were marked down about 30 or more percent. So for this video, I figured we'd get on the website, check it out, and show you what the deals are. It looks like these discounted accessories for Gen 2 are only available in the United States right now. Be sure to log on to your account though if you're outside of the United States and just double check. If you see some of these discounted items for Gen 2 and you're not in the United States, let me know in the comments below. So if you're new to this, you can get to the Starlink shop as long as you have a Starlink account, and you can do it from the app on your phone or from the website. The website is just shop.starlink.com. You'll need to log in. And so once you're here on the page, here's a little tip for you. If you're not seeing the correct accessories, you can see right over here, this is the Generation 2 standard actuated dish. If you don't see this, then you can just simply click here where it says not your Starlink. It'll bring you to this page where you can select the accessories that you're trying to view. In this case, we're trying to get to the Generation 2, so we have to click the Gen 2 standard actuated dish. Once we do that, now we're landed on the right page here. All right, so let's take a look here. The first thing that's going to be discounted is the Starlink travel case. So if you're not aware, Starlink produced this travel case for storage and transport of the Generation 2 Starlink dish. It has space for everything in the Starlink kit. So you have the dish and the router, the cables and everything like that fits neatly inside this travel case. I did a review on it, so be sure to check that video out if you're interested in further details about that product. But it looks like it's marked down from $250 to now it's $175. So a little more than 30% off. And I don't think this was a very popular accessory, but now that the price is lower, it kind of has some advantages over some of the other like Pelican cases and whatnot that are out there that people are using. And I think the main advantage with something like this specific to Starlink is that everything fits perfectly. It's already got foam that's pre-cut for the individual Starlink components. Everything fits in neatly and is organized. And plus, it has some backpack straps, so that's pretty cool as well. So again, check out my review video if you're interested in seeing a demonstration on that. But that is the first product that is discounted, is the Starlink travel case. All right, so it looks like the next thing that's discounted here in the shop for Gen 2 is the Gen 2 router. It's discounted from $145, which is the normal MSRP, to now it's just $100. That means it's a great time to add another mesh node to your system, or perhaps just pick up a spare router in case yours ever fails in the future. So it's also important to know that you can add these Gen 2 mesh routers to your Gen 3 system. So if you have a newer Starlink, even if you don't have a Generation 2, you can take advantage of this discount, get a Wi-Fi 5 mesh router and pair it wirelessly to your existing Gen 3 router. All right, let's see what else we got here. It looks like the next thing that is discounted is the cables here. So we have two versions of the Starlink cable for the Generation 2 in the shop. You have the 75-foot version and the 150-foot version, or 45 meters as they list it here in the shop. So if you have a Generation 2 dish and you plan on keeping it for the next several years, I would highly recommend you pick up a spare cable. That seems to be the most common failure point on the Generation 2 system because of those kind of weird proprietary connectors. So $55 is a pretty good insurance policy against one of the most common failure points of that Gen 2 system. And so this is discounted about 20 bucks. I think it's normally $75 for the 75-foot cable. So you get a nice $20 discount there, and it gives you some insurance in case your cable ever fails in the future. So it looks like the Starlink Ethernet adapter is also discounted. So this one was already pretty cheap to begin with. It's normally $25. Now it's discounted down to $17. So you get a few dollars off there. But if you haven't already, you need to pick one of these up for your Gen 2 system because it gives you an Ethernet port. The Generation 2 router does not have an Ethernet port built in, so you're not able to connect devices directly like a third-party router or a switch or a PC. But with the Ethernet adapter, you can gain access to an Ethernet port, just a single port. It kind of goes in line between the Starlink cable that goes out to your dish and the Starlink router. So it plugs in between and gives you just a single port. And you can also plug these into a mesh router to get an Ethernet port in a remote location. So let's say you have your main Starlink router in your living room and you have maybe a home office on the second floor that you've got a mesh, like a Generation 2 mesh node sitting in, you can actually get one of these Ethernet adapters, plug it into that mesh node, and that will allow you to hardwire your PC or other devices directly. Even though that signal is still going wirelessly through the mesh back to your main router, it is a more stable connection than relying on Wi-Fi alone. And it looks like the last thing in the shop for Generation 2 that's discounted is the pipe adapter. So the pipe adapter is a really great accessory because it allows you to take your Generation 2 dish and adapt it to virtually any pole or mast or mount that you may have. So the pipe diameter that you can adapt it to is up to 2.5 inches. So if you have an existing J mount, maybe from an old satellite TV dish or something like that, you can use this pipe adapter to get a nice secure mounting method for your Generation 2 dish. So the pipe adapter is normally $50, so you get a nice $15 discount. All right, so it looks like that's all the accessories in the shop that are discounted for the Gen 2 Starlink. So the question now in my mind is, why is Starlink doing this? And my guess is that, you know, the Gen 3 has been for sale in the United States. It's been the only dish option for many, many months now. And they're probably trying to clear out a lot of their inventory that they have in the warehouses. But Starlink needed to clear out inventory is great for us because that gives us access to discounts on things that we may need in the future. You know, like I said, either you're using it for spare parts or maybe you just really wanted that Starlink travel case, you just didn't want to pay full price for it. Well, here's your chance, here's your opportunity to get that at a pretty steep discount. That's all I had for this video today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you gonna pick up any of these accessories? Are you gonna get a spare cable or spare router? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.